Henrik invited me to record an album together. An album with the starting point or the main inspiration from nature, but with the idea of blending our two different musical backgrounds and explore a new process to allow the music to take form. Heavy emphasis in improvisation, or the improvisational principle of nature.
We know each other from way back. Actually, I think it's 20 years or something. But since we didn't have contact for a long time, suddenly I came to hear some of the music that you do nowadays. And after having listened to that, I woke up in the morning getting this vision about the curiosity how our different worlds of sound, my electric viola and your electronic soundscapes, would match together and create some kind of synchronicity.
So the first step is, in a very spontaneous and improvisational way, just record. You know, we set a frame, a tempo, a key, and we start to record. And I just capture what's happening, and especially capturing what you are playing. And then when you leave, I go into kind of an ecosystem of the sounds, and loop and layer and pitch and blend and mold and massage, and it's just a very, it's almost like what happens in nature. The leaves fall down, they mold, and then something new appear in that, and all these different soundscapes takes form. And how it is now is that they are almost only your viola. Even that sounds not exactly like a viola, but the source is your sound. And then the last step, when we actually let the songs take form, is what we're gonna do now, to play, where you play the instrument together with these soundscapes that are an echo or a room based on the sound of your viola, and then I'm in that.
The definition of an ecosystem, one definition is its complexity. It's a very complex system where all the living creatures within that system are depending on each other. And things happen sometimes by random, but sometimes a result of some basic principles. And that's exactly the same how it works also when you process my sounds and send them back into the sounding texture and creating the real-time score through both improvisation and also some basic planning of the score, of course.
think the first time you came down to Röstånga, or maybe it was the second, you've been there a few times, but the first couple of times we were mostly out in nature and actually sharing also what is this project about and what our values are, and kind of tuning in together somehow. And one of the times we were sitting and meditating, so we sat down for 30-40 minutes.
Out in the woods?
Out in the woods, in the middle of the park at Söderåsen in Röstånga. And what happened was we were sitting down, meditating, sitting in this space of nature, all the sounds, but in a way quite tranquil and relaxed. And then I heard these steps in the leaves, like someone walking or something, like very gentle steps. And I think both of us were like a little bit, what's coming? And then from nowhere came this bark, like really loud, and yes, like shaken up, and you know and then it stopped, and you could hear something walk away again. And so apparently it was some kind of animal, and we continued to meditate, and I just had my look out into the horizon, into the trees, and then suddenly I see this little thing coming. So something was running straight towards us, and the closer it came, and then I saw it was a baby deer. So a small little beautiful baby deer, and when it was like a couple of meters in front of us, it noticed us. So it hadn't noticed us before. So just before us, it takes this side step and jump over my shoulder, and most obviously it must be the mother of the baby deer that saw us and shouted out, danger, come back to me. But that moment of first having this exaltation from that bark, and then having this little beauty coming, and kind of almost getting showered by the beauty of nature. And it was quite a magical moment that have never ever happened to me before, and I have never heard happen to anyone else. And that is something that tells me that this intuition is something to listen to.
Speaking about sound also in nature, I mean, we can put a lot of effects on what we do. I mean, you can, it's unlimited. But for me, the most important effect was always the reverb. And reverb, for me, that's not an effect. That's a natural phenomenon that you can see that mankind has been fascinated from. We have the earliest evidence that 30,000 years ago in the caves in Lascaux, where you have these wall paintings in the different rooms in the caves. And the caves rooms, which has the best acoustics, has the most paintings. So already 30,000 years ago, the humans were fascinated by that and maybe created also rituals because they really liked the reverb in that cave. So, and we can go on in history. I mean, how does it sound if you play in a cathedral? That's also something that connects to some kind of higher experience mentally. So that feature is so important, and when you hear that sound that you really like and you identify yourself with that sound, then you just let go.
In a way, it's like even when I make music myself, I have the same process of recording things, starting to loop them, and then looping them in a way where this space or this room, like you said with the caves in France, suddenly there is a space where I want to be in. There is a natural feeling of, and normally when I'm in that space, or in that soundscape, this feeling of, I want to add something. I want to sing, or I want to play the piano. It's almost like that's the foundation, and something wants to grow within that. So that was my idea to invite you back into, to create this sound space or soundscape based on your own viola and your own playing, to see if, do you also get that feeling? And you apparently did. So it's also about understanding that creation is based on attraction. And attraction often appear in, or has to appear in a room, in a space. And that balance there is very important, of being not too much and not too little. There need to be room for you, but there need to be something to grow within.
Mm-hmm.